Some people believe one act of kindness disappears with time. But sometimes, a single choice quietly grows into something so powerful that an entire town can never forget it. What happened in the small town of Maple Creek changed hundreds of lives. It began with a struggling single father who barely had enough to feed himself. 15 years later, 3 young women returned with a surprise that no one, not even the man who raised them, could have imagined. Before we begin, welcome to Kindness Matters. If stories about compassion, hope, and second chances inspire you, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment sharing where you're watching from. Every act of kindness starts with one caring heart, and together we can spread more of it. Now, let's begin today's unforgettable story. At 33 years old, Ethan Brooks lived a simple life in Maple Creek, a peaceful American town surrounded by green hills and quiet streets. Ethan worked long hours as a maintenance worker at the local community center. His paycheck was small, his truck was old, and his tiny rented house needed constant repairs. 5 years earlier, Ethan had lost his wife, Emily, to a sudden illness shortly after their baby was born. Their son did not survive either. Since then, Ethan had lived alone, carrying both grief and loneliness. Even through the pain, he never stopped helping people. He shoveled snow for elderly neighbors, repaired broken fences without asking for money, and always offered a smile to anyone having a difficult day. One rainy afternoon, Ethan volunteered at a nearby children's shelter. While fixing a broken playground swing, he noticed 3 sisters sitting quietly beneath a porch roof. The oldest was 12-year-old Lily. The middle sister, Ava, was 10. The youngest, Sophie, was only 8. Their parents had died in a terrible car accident months earlier, and no relatives were able to care for them. The shelter director explained that the girls would probably be separated because different families were interested in adopting only one child at a time. Those words broke Ethan's heart. He watched the sisters holding hands, promising each other they would never forget one another, no matter where life took them. That night, Ethan barely slept. Everyone thought he was crazy when he told the shelter he wanted to adopt all 3 girls. "You can barely support yourself," people said. "You'll never manage. You need money, not dreams." But Ethan looked at the girls and simply replied, "A family isn't built by money. It's built by love." The adoption process took months. Ethan completed every class, every interview, and every home inspection. Friends from church helped repair his little house. Neighbors donated furniture, clothes, and school supplies. Slowly, the empty house became a real home filled with laughter. Life wasn't easy. Money was always tight. Ethan often skipped buying new clothes so the girls could join school activities. He worked overtime on weekends while still making time to attend every school play, every soccer game, and every parent-teacher meeting. Whenever the girls apologized for being expensive to raise, Ethan smiled. "You've never been a burden," he always said. "You're the greatest gift I've ever received." Those words stayed with them forever. As the years passed, each daughter discovered her own dream. Lily loved science and spent hours reading medical books from the local library. Ava became fascinated with architecture after helping Ethan repair their old house. Sophie loved organizing community events and dreamed of helping families in need. No matter how busy life became, Ethan insisted on one family tradition. Every Sunday evening, they shared a homemade dinner around the old wooden table. Each person answered one simple question: "What kindness did you give someone this week?" Those conversations became more valuable than any expensive gift. 15 years passed. Ethan was now 48. His daughters had grown into confident, compassionate women. Lily, now 30, had become a respected pediatric doctor. Ava, 28, was an award-winning architect known for designing affordable housing. Sophie, 26, had become the CEO of a successful nonprofit organization that partnered with businesses to support struggling families. Even though she was young, at 32 after several years of dedicated leadership, she was widely recognized for her vision, compassion, and ability to transform communities. People admired her not because of her title, but because she never forgot where she came from. One autumn morning, the mayor announced that Maple Creek would host a special community celebration. Nobody knew why so many reporters and television cameras had arrived. Ethan assumed it had something to do with local politics. He had no idea the event was actually for him. When he arrived at the town square, Hundreds of people were waiting. Then he saw Lily, Ava, and Sophie walking toward him together. Each one hugged him tightly. Sophie stepped onto the stage and looked directly at her father. Fighting back tears, she said, 15 years ago, one man chose love over fear. Everyone saw a poor single dad. We saw the greatest father in the world. The crowd fell completely silent. She continued, Dad, you gave us a home when no one else could. You believed in us before we believed in ourselves. Every success we've had began with your kindness. Then Ava revealed giant blueprints. Together, the sisters had purchased an empty piece of land in Maple Creek. Lily smiled through happy tears. We're building the Ethan Brooks Family Hope Center. The audience erupted in applause. The center would include free medical care for children, affordable housing for single parents, counseling services, job training, and educational programs for foster children. Every service would honor the lessons Ethan had taught them. Kindness first. Love always. Never leave anyone behind. Ethan stood speechless. He whispered, I never expected anything in return. Lily gently squeezed his hand. That's exactly why you deserve this. Within a year, the Hope Center transformed the community. Families found safe homes. Children received medical care. Single parents learned new careers. Neighbors who had once doubted Ethan now proudly volunteered beside him. Visitors traveled from across the country to learn how one family's kindness had inspired an entire town. When reporters asked Ethan what his greatest achievement had been, he smiled the same humble smile he had worn for years. I didn't raise successful daughters, he answered. I raised kind women. Everything else came after. His words spread across social media, inspiring millions. Because true wealth isn't measured by the size of your bank account. It's measured by the lives you lift along the way. If this story touched your heart, remember that kindness never disappears. A simple act of love today may change someone's entire future, even if you never see it happen. Just like Ethan, you don't need to be rich to change the world. You simply need a caring heart willing to help someone who needs it. Thank you for spending your time with Kindness Matters. Until next time, keep choosing kindness, because the smallest act of compassion can create a legacy that lasts for generations.